Recording. Hey. Come on.
The best.
Here, take your brother. Okay, so hopefully oh, look at that.
What? Oh, Bill.
Already ruined that.
Let's quit.
Welcome to Therapy Thursday for another week.
Welcome.
Finally got a decent question in. From Crypt Keeper 17.
You're not supposed to say who it is.
Yeah, because he goes right on about how it's not him.
Everybody. Not
From
everybody. You don't have to say who you are.
It's from Crypt Keeper 17. Yeah, when we say it's a decent...
He's asking for a friend.
When we say it's a decent topic, we don't mean that in the moral sense.
No, it's a juicy one.
So...
Let's get started.
Do you want to read it or do you want me to?
Oh, I don't have my glasses on. You read.
Oh, okay. So I have a friend, and yes, it is a friend, not me. He brought up a fairly compelling point of intrigue, oddly enough for him, as he is often the butt of jokes. We bust him up pretty good over the weekend poker games. Somehow the topic over a Facebook article of two cousins having or trying to have sex and one of them biting the other's member badly. Well then my buddy, again a friend, I am far too ugly to have the level of attractive female cousins this guy has. Not my cousin's fault. Our family genetically is that hideous. So someone asks him about cousin fucking, and he spends an awkward, lengthy time shooting down as ghastly, which caused us all to laugh hysterically. Then he shows us pictures of his cousins. 2 mid-20s, 8 to 9, maybe even higher if they are your type on the California Hollywood hot scale. I mean, one of them probably has their picture floating all over the internet being used as a fake for countless people's avatars. I mean, that good looking. What makes this even more dicey is that the cousins of my friend, it gets dicier. The cousins of my friend are,
surprisingly enough, it gets dicier.
Are of his mother's identical twin sister. My friend's mom, by the way, is one of the more attractive mid-50-year-olds in my neck of the woods. So with his mom's twin sister, that genetically puts them at sister level. So I guess my question to you both would be, is there a level of mega hot that cancels out cousin fucking? Dave Attell hit on this point once, but I would also like to hear your 2 cents. Thanks, love the show. Well, we love you.
Thanks for calling it a show. It's so nice of you. Cheers to that.
First of all,
are you gonna go first or me?
I'd like to do this in Dave Attell's voice, but I can't because I can't get that somber. I just can't do it. But I haven't. Well, yeah, you probably don't. Anyhow,
Sorry, Dave.
Do you want to go on the? Yeah, we'll let.
The thing is, I'm not sure you know where I'm gonna go with this. So
I don't know where you're gonna go.
And as soon as this question came in, I was like this. Because it's juicy. It's juicy in a way that my philosophical self likes. Oh. So, would you like me to... Okay, go. What do you want to say?
No, I like you to go first. Yeah.
Okay, so I got to break this down a little bit. I'm going to try not to make it too long.
Okay.
Okay. So I'm going to I wrote down that, because I'm not a great listener, so I wrote down the pertinent details to tell me if I got it wrong. So it's a buddy. It's not him. Some other guy.
Yeah. Has
some very hot cousins. Some hotties. Hottie McHottenheims. So there's 2 Hottie McHottenheims in their mid-20s, so perfect Hottie McHottenheim plucking age. And he puts him at an 8 and 9 California hot. So I'm going to say that's a solid 10 in your down-home community, I think. Like, this is a nice, good-looking girl. Probably 2 nice, good-looking girls. And then they have a hot mom. So there's a MILF on board, too. So it makes them triplets. No, I missed the twin thing. Anyways, and I just jumped on that one. But okay, so did I get that right? Did I paraphrase? Did I miss anything?
No, you got that.
Okay, so then I did a little more research because I just don't like to jump into things. So I remember that the royals have always intermarried to keep their good genetics, and since we've got this Hottie McHottenheim, we call it a California.
We don't know what this guy looks like.
It doesn't matter.
Oh, okay.
It doesn't matter. Obviously, it doesn't matter. It's really not about him, is it? He is like basically the shoe on the foot of this beautiful hot triplet sandwich. Anyway, so what I came up with super quick is lots of royal intermarriage, which means this is not the day and time of it, but this was well accepted back in the day. I'm just giving you some reference. I don't want to say where I'm going with this.
Okay.
Also, I looked at famous marrying first cousins. So I only have first names here because I feel like we need to give some people some. Anyways, these people who married their first cousins. So Rudy Giuliani, who's the mayor of New York, former mayor of New York.
Yeah.
Edgar Allan Poe for his second marriage.
He's also a Trump advisor.
Edgar Allan Poe for his second marriage married his first cousin.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to name a few names. H.G. Wells, Saddam Hussein, not a real surprise there. Charles Darwin, who we all have to admit has some progressive ideas in the world. Albert Einstein, another smarty McSmartenheim. Jerry Lee Lewis. Just going to keep going. Greta Stucci. Anyways, so that was another little piece of... And I had one more thing that... Okay, so this was my last... And it was about morality. So I pulled morality from Wikipedia. And this is what it says. It's differentiation of intentions, decisions, and actions between those that are distinguished as proper and those that are improper. Morality can be a body of standards or principles... And here's where we're going to underline. Derived by a code of conduct from a particular philosophy, religion, or culture. Let's just stop there. Short answer, you shouldn't tell anybody you're doing it. But long answer, I'm also somebody who believes in opportunity. And if two people were adopted and met each other out in the wild and they become wildly enamored with each other and maybe even consider having children together, they may never know they were first cousins or related in some way. So I'm saying like there is a possibility in lots of ways in the world. It could happen. Mm-hmm. It's possible it could happen. It has happened, and it is specifically to keep the gene lines pure, although, that's a shady topic. We're not going there. But, so morality aside, is there anything wrong with it? Not if you're not having children. That's my short answer. Do I think it's a good idea to talk about it? That's the next phase of the question. And I say, I wouldn't tell anyone. I wouldn't tell anyone. In fact, I don't believe in shame. I don't believe in guilt and shame. But I would box it up somewhere tight, far away, and I'd just never look at it again.
Did you ever watch Hotel New Hampshire?
Yes. I want you to look me in the eyes, and I want to know. I want you to tell me. I want to tell you. I have definitely watched it many times.
So, did I ever tell you about the time when I was living in that one northern community, and there was a couple, man and a wife, had 2 kids, a boy and a girl, and then they died. Like the couple died. They lived like in the middle of nowhere on this farm, and so
it sounds like somebody has a secret.
Well, so anyways, the parents died. The children were adults. They kept to themselves, just worked on the farm. I don't even know if they went to school. Actually, yeah, they did go to school. And I'm assuming that when the parents died, like a few years later, all of a sudden there was children there, like new children. So but neither of them had gotten married or anything. Just all of a sudden there just happened to be children popping up on this farm, and so those years later, those parents died, and those children fucked off. They were like gone, and I can imagine that they probably were teased relentlessly at school there or something. But they took off to the city as fast as they could go. But apparently they were very intelligent. Nothing bad came.
I'm just
of
saying
that.
maybe bad things could happen if you get all consanguine, which is one of the only things I learned that I recall from university. Consanguine means blood related. It means blood related. So if you're consanguine, you're not supposed to marry. No. You can't marry most places.
No.
So they're not looking to get married. So where are we going with this?
Well, no, I'm just saying, so this was a brother and sister that,
right.
did the deed a few times, had some kids. The kids turned out
Could
fine.
have been functional. It's a big farm.
Yeah, turned out fine.
Some workers.
Got out of there and they just left the farm. They didn't sell it or anything, just left it to rot. And who knows what happened with those kids? I never saw it, but I guess there was one of those. What was that show with David Duchovny on it?
X-Files.
X-Files, yeah.
Californication.
The X-Files.
I liked Californication better.
Anyways, so I physically I really don't know. Like I haven't looked into whether there's proof of bad things happening from being related or not. There's a lot of people that aren't related that have kids that
right. I think it's more
trouble.
like genetic things. Like you're really like doubling up your opportunities. It's like having 2 lottery tickets in the same terrible lottery.
That brings me to my dad. When he was breeding horses, there was certain people that did this thing called line breeding, and they would breed a grandfather to a granddaughter. Not if you couldn't go. I can't remember all the rules, but like you could go grandfather to granddaughter, and they wanted to keep those bloodlines pure. Apparently, the horses were excellent quality horses. Now, when we get down to the morality of it, I say it doesn't matter how hot your cousin is. If you guys are horny, throw a rubber on and get to town.
We're not traditional people. And I'm not saying that it's for me. It's not for me, but it's not for me to decide what's for other people. And you know what? Let's put it this way. Let's pretend you don't know they're cousins. Let's pretend it's a movie. Nobody told you they're cousins.
Yep.
You're the one directing this movie. What happens when you see those beautiful California 8-9s coming at you?
Which I'm not too sure. Like, I've never met Crypt Keeper in real life, but I have a feeling that he drinks a bit. And his 8s and 9s might...
I can't confirm that.
I can't confirm it either. Like,
I think
I'm
conjecture, rumor.
I'm just saying that maybe...
Jealous.
A couple of beers and you're like, oh, she's an 8 or 9. No.
That's true. We should clarify when.
Yeah,
when
we didn't get to see pictures of these California 8 and 9s. Also, which California does it say Hollywood? Oh yeah, it is Hollywood. Okay, so that's... I think what it boils down to is... If it was Weed, California, you never know.
Right? Like, or where is Sacramento, California, where like the oldies are?
I think there's some oldies there.
I know there's a couple oldies there.
Yeah, my aunts are there.
Shh. They're not that old, guys.
No, they're not. They're only in their 60s or 70s.
So, getting back to the topic at hand, I know you're looking for somebody to shut this down and say, wrong! And...
No,
I can't say yay.
See, I've never had a cousin that was close enough in age to me that we grew up together. Did you?
Not a boy. Like I had boy. Honestly, though, I had a really super hot boy cousin.
Oh,
super hot boy cousin. Yeah, 2 hot boy cousins. One was younger than me, so it was like he was just a cute kid. But like as he grew up, and like he's a super good-looking young man now.
Yeah.
But his older brother is just me. I'm not saying like I'm not saying that. Like, don't be gross.
No.
Stop talking about it, will you? I'm really sorry, family.
No, but I was the oldest of all.
No, I just mean
if
I ran into that young man who I hardly knew as a teenager and didn't know he was my cousin, I would have not only would I have thrown myself at him, not because he's my cousin, just because he was so attractive, but then I wouldn't have thrown myself at him because I love self-esteem. But that's a good thing because he was actually my cousin. So.
I remember I kissed my cousin that I didn't know was my cousin, and then when my grandmother told me we were cousins, I freaked out, and then...
Whisper the name of that person in my ear. Who? So that is awkward.
So this was in high school, and it was just like a quick kiss. It was nothing, we weren't tonguing each other or anything, but... So... anyways, I was smitten with her, and I think I was in maybe grade 9 or 10, and I was talking to my grandmother after, and I had just said, oh yeah, I know I met this girl, and I told her who it was, and she said, that's your cousin, and I was like, what? And then my sister Shelly was not dating, but talking to her cousin, and then I was like, you gotta stop talking to him, that's your cousin. So it turns out they
have a little more experience than we want to admit.
It turns out that it was 5th cousins. So really, I'm pretty. Yeah, I don't even know if that is.
You could still really definitely marry. I think you could marry your 5th cousin. Sure, why not?
But yeah,
that's far enough away.
So I was pretty freaked out because of course my grandmother. You never met her, but I wish you had. I
do wish.
You're part. Yeah, part
you
of
know
her.
I have partly your grandmother already. I've absorbed.
But she, her reaction, like as she slammed her beer down on the table. That's your cousin. You can't date your cousin. I'm like, what? Oh god, I didn't know. Like,
it's shame, eh? Like that really stigmatized you for this topic. So not for us.
No.
But only because.
But after I found out we were fifth cousins, it was a few weeks. I found out we were fifth cousins, and then I kind of wanted to go crawling back.
And frankly, there was some area of reconsideration.
Years later.
Later.
Yeah.
So.
But
he took that advice under advisement, but did not exclude her completely. So that's what we got there. Is there anything?
That's it. I think.
Well, that's a titillating topic. So thanks, friends.
Sorry, I don't know. We have no clue what this is going to look like. But if anybody who, like, say, Boba Fett or Winnie, I don't know, Paco, if you're watching, if we could, if you guys could give us some advice on a good camera to get that's like a vlogger camera. Yeah, but not
something easy.
Yeah, something fairly cheap. We don't want to go like.
Yeah, and has something like good for low light, that sort of thing.
Yeah, because like this thing, we're afraid to move our hands and stuff.
Not that afraid. Not afraid enough not to.
We keep doing it, but I know that when we watch it after, it's like.
Right now, and we're like, remember when I did that?
Plus lots of times the voices don't match up with the lips.
Well, we think we've solved that problem. But, I deleted a bunch of stuff.
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay.
Deleted all those extra movies we don't need anymore.
Anyways, thank you very much for watching. Have yourselves a wonderful day, and thank you, Crypt Keeper, for the compelling question or topic.
You're my new
that you
favorite.
Don't tell the others. She says that to all of the boys and girls.
Hi, kitty girl.
Hi, kitty.